welcome to Ebi and Cleo's April 2026 Adventure Cat vlog. We started off the month with a trip to the beautiful Blue Pool. This is a really beautiful local place. Cleo was right out exploring. It's great that she is building up her confidence. Whereas Ebi decided to balance on the backpack. However you want to do it is absolutely fine. You can be a bit awkward at times. But we found a beautiful spot to just sit and enjoy the day. We are hoping for some good weather coming up because it is so much easier going on adventures in nice weather. Cleo in particular does not like the wind or the wet, so fingers crossed or paws crossed for sunny days. Of course, Ebi then wanted to go and explore, and I'm not quite sure why he wanted to get so close to the water, because he then got really annoyed when his paw got wet. I think maybe he was trying to get over to this wooded area over here, but as he wasn't allowed to swim, I thought it was best to pop him on the shoulders as we walked along the shore. He can get really fascinated by stuff and get a bit obsessive, but we found this really cool rope bridge and we went across. I, of course, made sure that I was holding on tightly to the leads because I do have a fear of the cats jumping off in really awkward places. Luckily it wasn't a big drop, but we still need to be extra careful. And Ebi was still doing his awkward balancing, whereas Cleo was being a good girl tucked up tightly in the backpack itself. But it was lovely walking across and such a beautiful view. Then went back down to the shore. Ebi was still super obsessed with the water for whatever reason, because normally he's not that keen on getting wet. The only way I could get him away was by carrying him away. But at least he enjoyed his adventure. And we even saw a peacock on the way out. Next up, we walked to an old fort. Well, I say we walked. I walked. The cats were in the backpack. They do love being out, but I think half the time they just like to ride. And when I saw the hill we had to walk up, I thought it was fair enough. So they enjoyed being carried up to the very top. Luckily, neither of them are big cats, because if they were big cats, this would be a lot more awkward. But we did eventually make it up to the top, and it was beautiful. And we basically had the place to ourselves, which is always nice. The cats are really good round people, but we always have to stop to be fussed and say hello. So sometimes it is nice just getting out by ourselves. So this place used to be a really old fort, but of course it's all just hidden now. But it is still a gorgeous place to come and explore. I think it was actually from the Iron Age. We love visiting old historic places, but we found a beautiful place to stop and just enjoy the view. And of course we needed snacks, because we always need snacks. Ebi was not happy when I made him share his licky treat with Cleo. He can be a bit greedy. He then had a bit of a Lion King moment. I think he thought this whole place was his. And who can blame him? He is a little king in his own way. So we stopped for a bit longer and just enjoyed the place. It's so nice sometimes not to rush adventures and just take it nice and slow and easy. We then let Ebi lead the way. It's great when we can let him lead the way for a little bit. He loves it. Cleo, on the other hand, decided to hang like this. Not sure why. We just let her. She is comfortable. She can move if she wants to. But eventually both cats decided to ride on the shoulders. They actually put themselves quite nicely here. Normally I've got one of their butts on my face, so it was nice that they were both forward facing. And we literally didn't see anyone else on this adventure. It was lovely. We even managed to stop a couple of times along the way back so the cats could have a little sniff at the place. It is honestly so special to be out with these two. We then, of course, had to do an adventure with the 3 dogs. The dogs aren't with us all the time, but I do love being out with 5 of them, although it can be a bit of a handful at times. And we decided to walk down to the sea. There's this beautiful walk near us through the woods, and you come out by the beach. And it was lovely because the cats could be safe in the backpack, whereas the dogs could have a proper little run around. And they were certainly leading the way today. Dylan's 13, but he loves the beach. And I think he knew where we were heading because he was so excited. Once we got to the beach, I sat and chilled with the cats for a little bit, whereas the dogs had a little run round and a little play. The cat's enjoying the sea air, I think. But I do want to know, does anyone else's dogs go absolutely crazy at the beach? Because these 3 do, especially Dylan. He's like a puppy again at the beach. But it's great because dogs really need the exercise, so it's great to go places where dogs can get the exercise while the cats can get the enrichment. They are wonderful creatures, but they do have different needs. But eventually, Ebi wants to get on and explore, and was not impressed when Dora was blocking the way. Nobody stops Ebi. Then time to head back up again, with lots of stops to enjoy the view, of course. There is definitely no rushing when you have 5 little 4-legged creatures. But they do make an adorable little adventure squad. And I think Dougal was being a bit impatient with waiting for Ebi here. He definitely wanted Ebi to hurry up, but nobody rushes Ebi. He very much does stuff when he wants to. But I did get a bit worried here he was going to get himself trapped in the grate, so we decided to pop him on the shoulders to walk on a bit. I don't know why both the cats are wanting to ride on the shoulders at the moment, but luckily they are small enough that they both fit. And we followed the dogs back up the stream. This was a lovely little trip for the doggos. We then had a lovely little day trip to Bath. And Ebi was really in his Regency era here. I know Cleo's dress sense is not great. I definitely need to work on her fashion sense a little bit. But she definitely felt like a lady wandering around Bath. I should say promenading around Bath. We found a lovely spot for lunch where she could watch out the window, whereas Ebi, of course, had his mind on food. It is funny, Cleo is definitely the little foodie out of the 2, but Ebi loves his snacks, especially a licky treat. We then, of course, had to do a bit of shopping, and Bath is well known for its bookshops. I don't think Ebi was too impressed in here, but fair enough because he can't actually read. Then went to another one, which amazingly actually said cats were welcome as well. So it's one of our first times we've seen cats mentioned as well as dogs. So we had to pop in here. Again, Ebi not looking very impressed at all the books, but the humans enjoyed it. But definitely looking his best in his little tux in his Regency era. And we even found some places out of Bridgerton. The sun did stick this month, so we then headed down the beach. And of course, Cleo needed her sun protection on. And it also meant time to get out on the paddleboard again. This time we took the cats one by one, starting with Cleo. And we're just staying really in the shallow here whilst we get used to it again. But Cleo did so well. She is definitely building up her confidence on the board. But she did eventually want to go back in, so we tried Ebi. And Ebi's normally the more confident on the 2, but I just sensed this time he wasn't enjoying it so much. So we went back to the beach for a snack instead. I do think the cats are happier when they have the bag on the board as well, so we might try that again. But snacks make everything better, so they certainly enjoyed the snacks. Of course, Ebi being Ebi then wanted to go and explore. It is sometimes a bit difficult having one really chilled adventure cat and one who just wants to explore everything. But they are both lovely in their own way, and Cleo did then decide to come and have a strut around as well. Ebi decided it was then time to head up from the beach, and this is a lovely beach because it's got like a heath area behind it. So it's so much stimulation and enrichment for the cats. Ebi, as always, leading the way. And then, for some reason, he decided to roll around in the dirt. Not sure why he did this. He's the cat that I don't have to bath, so I'm hoping that this will brush out. A little evening trip this month was down to the quay. And this is a nice chill trip that we do every now and again. And of course the doggies had to come along. Ebi enjoyed watching the seagulls, whereas the doggies definitely wanted their chippies. I do love being out with the 5 of them. For whatever reason, Ebi was just insistent on walking around. He wanted to go into the lounge or just watch the workmen, and said he can get very focused on stuff, whereas Cleo was being her good chilled self. But once we'd eaten all our chips, it was time to head back. Ebi doing his amazing balancing again. He is such a funny cat, but eventually he decided he wanted to walk along. He has got so good at walking on a lead. He's got so confident, and it's actually getting a bit faster, which is nice because sometimes it can take an age getting anywhere. He particularly likes it if he can balance on anything like this wall. I guess it gives him a nice direct path. And it was just beautiful being out with 5 of them again, especially at sunset. Making the most of the sunny weather this month, we headed out to Sculptures on the Lake. This is a beautiful little attraction near us where it's a couple of lakes and they've done sculptures all around it, and you can just wander around and enjoy the tranquility of it. And luckily it was a beautiful day for it. Ebi was right out. We have started using an extending lead for him, which is fantastic because it does give him a bit more space to explore, but it's definitely been a bit of time building up to it. We found a beautiful little pavilion to sit and watch, and I think I could have left the cats here all day. But we went around and admired all the artwork. I think Ebi liked the giant owl. He is not scared of anything. He was quite a little art critique. He admired all the pieces and made sure to give them all a thorough inspection. We even had a chance to go on a giant swing. I'm not sure Cleo was too impressed by it. Now we're going to sneak this one in. It's not technically cat related, but as the dogs are related to the cats, we would sneak them in. We did go to All About Dogs Newbury, and this is a fun dog show. We entered the dogs into a few categories, like Fabulous Doggy Family, which they actually won last year, but we got 4th place. And we did the 2 oldies, Dylan and Dougal, in Golden Oldie, and we got 6th place in this, so Dylan was still very proud of himself. Then did a little meet and greet. Dora's always been nervy around other dogs, but she is getting so much more confident. She's really becoming a brave little girl. And we saw some amazing other dogs. This is Lucy and the Tricksters. I think it is incredible how she trains her dogs. We've seen them a couple times, although I don't think Dylan was too impressed. You certainly couldn't catch him doing him. In fact, he fell asleep. So we headed home. Getting back to the cats, because let's be honest, it's all about the cats. We popped down to our local park. Ebi enjoying watching all the geese and swans. Soon enough, Ebi was down and exploring, and he was definitely pushing a little bit on the lead this time, trying to get as far away as possible on the extender, which does make me slightly nervous, but he is getting so good, so it's good to work up to it. Cleo, as usual, just chilling out in the stroller. And if Ebi looks a bit grubby here, it's because he's been rolling around in the dirt again. He's really got into this. I don't know if anyone else's cat does it, but yeah, he's grubby. We then, of course, had to wait for the little train to pass. And then we popped to our favourite spot to just enjoy sitting, relaxing, and enjoying the view. I've been taking Ebi here for a couple of years now, so he knows the spot well. And we normally have it to ourselves, which is nice. Normally there's loads of birds for them to watch. But soon enough, it was time to head back. And Ebi was being a bit awkward on the way back, constantly in and out of the stroller. Ebi does what Ebi wants to. We then headed out to an animal park. I love taking the cats to meet different animals. It's always so fascinating to see how they react. First up was the bunnies, which we do have bunnies at home, so I don't think Ebi was that interested in the bunnies. So we didn't spend too much time with them. The sheep, however, were quite fascinating to him. He definitely seems to like farmyard animals. He's obsessed with donkeys. Even Cleo got out to have a little look at the animals. I think she would have gone and joined the sheep sleeping in the shade if she could have. And saw some lovely birds. Some nice horses. Had to make sure the cat stayed nearby and didn't get into the field here. And then the pygmy goats. Now, this pygmy goat was obsessed with the cats. I don't think he could really work out what they were. Even his mate came to have a look at the cats. But luckily, there was 2 cats and 2 goats, so it worked out nicely. Even when we walked off, the pygmy goats were still staring. Next up was the pigs. As I said, Ebi seems to really like the farmyard animals. Although I think he was liking the pigs a bit too much because he copied them and rolled around in the dirt. I'm having to start wiping him off after every adventure because he's doing this a lot. Cleo, on the other hand, is a nice clean girl. We saw some beautiful alpacas, though Ebi wasn't too interested in them. But then it was onto the donkey, Ebi's favourite animal. And I think Ebi was trying to get closer and closer to the donkey. If I hadn't been holding his lead, I'm pretty sure he would have been in the paddock with the donkey. Lucky enough, the donkey actually came over to us, which made Ebi stay. I don't know why Ebi loves donkeys so much. And he actually decided to have a bit of lunch with the donkey. Yes, Ebi is eating the grass like a donkey. Maybe he wants to be a donkey. Who knows? Cleo did have a look at the donkey as well, but she was not so fussed. Exploring onwards, there were so many animals to see here. More goats. But these ones weren't so fascinated in the cats. And then we found a nice spot just to sit and enjoy watching for a little bit. Of course, Ebi didn't want to sit around for too long, so onwards we went. And he then spotted the ducks. And I don't think this duck was too much of a fan of Ebi. He definitely told Ebi off a little bit through the fence. I would not want to pick a fight with this duck. Or goose. Not sure which one that is. Let me know in the comments below. And then our final little trip of the month was down to another little local beach. Me and Cleo were enjoying sitting and chilling, but Ebi wanted to go and explore. But once we'd sat and enjoyed the beach for a little bit, Cleo did decide she wanted to explore a bit as well. So we walked along, letting the cats lead away. Ebi being very nosy at everyone walking past her. And Cleo being a good girl too. Of course, they both wanted to jump up to get a better view. Ebi not very impressed when I didn't let him jump down the other side. So we walked back along the beach. It has been a really lovely month for adventures, and the cats are just getting more and more confident, and it's been great letting them have some time on the extenders as well. We've got loads more adventures planned this year, so do drop us a follow if you can. Let us know where you'd like us to go, and we hope to see you soon. Bye! Now, I'm having to sneak this in at the end of the vlog because I'm hoping the cats won't find out, but I did technically cheat on them this month. So I popped away for a night, and whilst I was away, I did go into a cat cafe. And this place was so cute. They had so many cats there. They had this adorable pinboard of all the different cats, and just look how cool the cat trees are. They are actual trees. This place was so cute, and the cats were just so sweet. We fussed so many of them, and we loved this little spiral staircase they had. This is a little cat cafe that also supports cat rescues, so it was really nice to go and see them all. And a lot of these cats are ex-strays, and they were just all about, and most of them were really friendly, which was nice. They all looked so chilled and relaxed. And this one was definitely my favourite. This was Paul, and he had a little bit of a head wonk, which is really cute. We had so many fuss, but do not tell Ebi and Cleo or my other cats that I technically cheated on them. And at the end, we even had treat time for all the cats, and this is worse than me giving my cats dreamies. I thought it was bad with 5. I could not do it with this many cats.